There's some good news. There are some sparks of hope here in the United States and around the world. Overseas, Boris Johnson's condition has been listed as stable after his first night in intensive care with COVID 19. Um, Governor Cuomo had good news. I mean, it's mixed. Eric just pointed out that there were more deaths in New York Monday than Sunday. However, Governor Cuomo points out that the total number of hospitalizations is going down, and the new infections seem to be going down after testing. Let's listen to cut number 17. Here was the president yesterday on Fox News and Grabian talking about some of these graphs and the data that they are studying, that they are watching to try to get to a point where that light will come at the end of the tunnel and we can see that this national nightmare is slowly starting to come to an end. We're not there yet, but we're one day closer. Listen to Governor Cuomo.
Total number of hospitalizations are down. The ICU admissions are down, and the daily intubations are down. Those are all good signs, and again would suggest a possible flattening of the curve. The number of discharged is down, but that reflects the overall reduction in the numbers.
Governor Cuomo went on to say, this is no time to let down our guard. Here's cut number 16. I saw a video last night of a drone flying over a crowd of people in New York, right along the Hudson River. It looked like saying, "Maintain social distance." I mean, it was so Orwellian. It was like something right out of a science fiction movie. But the drone had a PA system, I guess, on it, and it was instructing people to socially distance and stay apart from each other, something we all should be doing. Governor Cuomo in cut 16 here repeats that directive or that guidance.
Plateau, not plateau. We still have to extend New York pause, because if that curve is turning, it's turning because the rate of infection is going down. One of the reasons the rate of infection is going down is because social distancing is working. We have to continue the social distancing. Schools and non-essential businesses will stay closed until April 29th.
And, the fact is, Dr. Anthony Fauci has become a bit of a lightning rod for controversy. I get a lot of email and text messages from people who are cynical about Dr. Fauci. He, of course, is the one member of President's team who seems reluctant to fully embrace the use of hydroxychloroquine. And a lot of people are wondering why. It's a bit of a mystery. He wants, extensive, lengthy clinical trials. There was a report out of the White House that on Saturday, Dr. Fauci and Peter Navarro, the president's trade representative, got into a real heated discussion and an argument about hydroxychloroquine. Even Vice President Pence reportedly had to step in and calm tempers a little bit. Here's what Dr. Fauci said yesterday about some of the early predictions. You'll remember we were getting some models that said between 100 and 240,000 Americans could die from this. Here's what he said yesterday about some of those models. Cut 7 from Fox News and Grabian.
I don't accept every day that we're going to have 100 to 200,000 deaths. I think we can really bring that down, no matter what a model says, because when the data comes in, they'll start to say, maybe you are essentially overshooting the model. And I think that's where we can go. That's the reason why I like to always get up and tell the American people, it's the virus doing what the virus wants to do, and it's we as a society doing what we can do.
Meanwhile, these press conferences, these daily press events are really something to behold. I have never seen a sitting president spar in the way he sparred yesterday with Jonathan Karl of ABC. It was extraordinary. You got to hear this. Here's the setup. There was a reporter who said to the president that the inspector general sent out a letter or a report that said that hospitals in America aren't getting what they need. And the president was clearly bothered by that. He said, which inspector general? Who? And she said, well, I don't have a name. And he said, well, when you get a name, let me know. And then Jonathan Karl from ABC followed up And they had a back and forth about where this report and which inspector general it was. Wow, was this epic? Here's cut number 14. Listen to this exchange when Jonathan Karl is forced to admit that the inspector general he had been referring to had actually served in the Obama administration, which really lit President Trump up.
How long has that person been in government?
Did serve in the previous administration.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. Oh, I see. You didn't tell me that, John. You didn't tell me that. Did serve in the previous administration. You mean the Obama administration. Thank you for telling me that. See, there's a typical fake news deal.
You asked me when she was appointed. I told you when she was appointed.
You're a third-rate reporter, and what you just said is a disgrace, okay? You asked me, you said, sir, just got appointed. Take a look at what you said now. I said, when did this person, how long in government? Well, it was appointed in the Obama administration. Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much. You will never make it. Go ahead, please.
You will never make it. You either love that or you hate it. And I get it. I really do. I get it. I saw a video meme the other day that showed a lion, an old kind of a big head lion laying on the road somewhere. I don't know where it was. And the lion was surrounded by a pack of hyenas. And all the hyenas were yapping and kind of nipping at the lion. And the lion was just laying there in kind of a prone position. It was a really powerful image because the lion just kept roaring. And the hyenas would scatter and they'd yip, 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 and then they'd back off. And then they'd get a little closer to him and the lion would roar again. And of course, the caption was, this is the White House Daily Press Briefing with President Trump and the reporters. If you're sick, if your loved one is sick, if you are afraid of what our country is going through, if you're anxious, you really just don't care about people who are bickering about hydroxychloroquine or Trump or politics. You don't really care about the Wisconsin primary. You just want the nation to heal. You want the nation, if you're normal, you don't have a political agenda attached to this. And I truly believe, and I'm a little philosophical today, it's kind of a milestone day for me as I went from my 50s to my 60s today. And so I'm ready now to embrace a whole new decade of my life, excited about the opportunities and the possibilities, and grateful, eternally grateful for what I get to do for a living and the kind of people who surround me. I am so blessed. My kids are healthy and my kids are safe and my family is well. We're all anxious. My friends are anxious. Everybody I know is sort of hunkered down and just waiting for this thing to end. So I do have a bit of a philosophical mood. Of course, being the selfish jerk that I am, it always comes back to me. And I've been telling some of my friends, this is just perfect. My 60th birthday, hunkered down, isolated in my condo in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. Happy birthday. That's just me. That's sort of my dark sense of humor. I'm feeling philosophical about all of this, and I feel less political than ever right now. I know that there will be time to battle on the political front. I know we're going to have an election in November. I get it. I just don't think people care right now about some of these disputes and arguments. We've got to get through this as a country, and I'm doing my best every day to try to lift everybody up I can. You lift me up, I lift you up. We have to be strong. This is tough. This is really a hard thing we're all going through. And many people are going through it a lot worse than the rest of us. I'm constantly thinking about people who are terrified about how they're going to put food on their family's table. This is a rough thing that this country is experiencing. And I'm a lucky guy. I'm blessed. I get to work from home. I'm joyful that I have a decent job that I love, that I get to be self-isolated in a home that I just bought last year. So I'm enjoying this, every inch of it. I'm happy. I'm Skyping with my kids, talking to my kids. I'm in more contact with my family than I've been in a long time. I'm reconnecting with old friends. I just heard from a high school buddy of mine. I haven't talked to him and his wife in 40 years. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. And I can't wait to write him back. Didn't even know he had my email address or how he remembered it. This is a time that we should be connecting to one another any way we can, certainly not physical. This will pass. We're going to get through this. This too shall pass. And when it does, I share the optimism of many who say that we're going to be bigger and better than ever. And maybe we're going to have a little bit more caring. Maybe we're going to have a little bit more compassion. Maybe we'll have a little bit more of an ability to see things from another person's point of view. Maybe the people who hate us because of our political views will hate a little less. And incidentally, we can do the same thing. We can try to see somebody else's perspective and realize that just because you don't agree with me politically doesn't mean you're not afraid, doesn't mean you're not anxious, doesn't mean you're not apprehensive, doesn't mean you're not fearful of how you're going to put food on your family's table or where you're going to work next. Trying to navigate the unemployment mess. It's tough. I hear from everybody they can't get through for unemployment benefits. And I'm greatly worried about that, and we're going to address that on this show.